the Hard Rock Roxino Northfield Park presents The Rizzo Show. And now your host, Tony Rizzo, with co-host Mike Polk Jr.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Sit down.
Is it snowing in here?
It's crazy.
Is it raining?
Oh my gosh.
Hi everyone, and welcome to a special edition of The Rizzo Show. Mike Polk and I want to welcome Jim Clark to the set. Jim, how are you, partner?
Great.
Great to see you. Thanks for being here. We're going to tell a great story tonight. Of course, if you live in the Akron-Canton area, you certainly know Jim. He's a longtime voice of the Akron Rubber Duck. I believe Ducks going into 27th year.
27th year.
You look too young to be that to be there that long.
You're a good man.
He is also the author and wrote the book Rally Round Cleveland, the story of the 74 franchise-saving Cleveland Indians. Jim, why did 74 save the franchise? Because as a kid now, you got to remember, I'm 12 years old. I went to a lot of games in the 71st. My dad worked for 3WE. We got free tickets. I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes there. How much in peril were the Indians going into that season?
Almost left in 58. They bought out Hank Greenberg. They stayed. Almost left 64. They were going to Seattle. Gabe Paul and the city get together. They stay.
Okay.
Early 70s, there's on the docket to play 35 games in New Orleans. Hal Lebowitz finds out.
Longtime writer for the Plain Dealer.
Plain Dealer, they squash it. Now, between 71 and 73, 3 years, they drew less than 2 million fans in 3 years.
Wow. And explain to everybody, Jimmy, drawing 1 million is about where you should be for any franchise.
Wanted. The Browns were out drawing them with their 7 home games then every season.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
So my thought was, if you continue to draw 500,000 fans, 600,000 fans, and that continues to spiral, expansion's coming, D.C. wants a team back. A lot of Florida wants baseball.
Florida's getting baseball.
Why not come get the Cleveland Indians?
Right. So I read this book and it was really interesting. I didn't know about this year, and 1970s was a bad period for the Indians in baseball. So I have honestly dismissed most of it. So it was interesting and educational for me to find out about this. I had no idea that we came this close to possibly losing this team.
You know, 74 came, and they came off a decent end of 73, but it's the second half of the season. What does that mean? Can you carry it over?
Right.
But 74 comes. They make the big blockbuster deal. They trade Chris Chambliss for 4 pitchers.
4 pitchers. We had Gaylord Perry at the time.
And Jim Perry.
And Jim
came back, who had a great year. Well, Gaylord loses opening day. Then, not until July, he wins 15 consecutive games.
I remember.
Yeah, I saw he was responsible for like 40% of the Indians' wins for 3 years or something like that. Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah,
and they begin to gel.
Yeah, and they came together, but it was after the Chambliss trade.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, as a kid growing up here, we loved Chris Chambliss. He was a great player. He went on to do great things with the Yankees. We were upset, but that trade actually worked out to our advantage.
Well, you get some bullpen guys, you get some starters in Fritz Peterson. The key guy was Steve Klein, who won 16 games for the Yankees. But here, already had arm trouble. If Steve Klein would have panned out like they thought he would have, they might have won it in 74.
They might have won it.
Gaylord wins 15 in a row. The team starts heating up. They actually go to first place for a while, right? How does the attendance reflect that for the Tribe?
Well, you know, they drew 10 crowds over 30,000, 4 over 40. They were getting walk-up crowds.
That's for that time of the Indians franchise. That was insane. Keep in mind, folks, this is an 80,000-seat stadium. And so even though we had 40,000 there, it looked empty.
And just a reminder, this is always a cyclical thing that we're always baffled by. You put a winning team on the field, and the fans show up. Look at the 90s. You know, people are like, why aren't people coming to these games? Just consistently win, and we'll be there, and this is the beginning of that.
And they had not drawn 1 million since 1959.
Right.
That was the very first time.
Right.
You know, beer night gets thrown in June.
Oh, yeah. 10-cent beer night, everybody. You remember that
Franklin
one.
helped that a lot.
Now hold on, because Jim, there are a lot of urban legends about the beer night. It wasn't nickel beer night. What was it? 10-cent
beer night.
All you could drink as many beers as you want for 10 cents.
They set them up behind the fence at the stadium. So you come down the 2 runways, as many as you wanted.
Could have gone wrong.
You know, the key thing was there was only 24,000 fans there. think they'd have had 50,000
Oh,
fans.
right. You'd had the National Guard.
holy
You'd had to call the
smokes.
National Guard.
Yep.
Now, from what I remember in that night, Danny Coughlin tells this story to us all the time.
Very long. It's a very long story.
Yeah, it is, but it's a great one. From what I remember that night, it started slowly, you know,
Yes.
and then it's late night TV, right?
Right.
There was a lady who took her top off, and that started the whole
Feeding
riot,
frenzy.
right?
Blood in the water.
They would throw firecrackers. Kids would run across the field.
could just
women
bring in
were
firecrackers.
dancing.
But they didn't have metal detectors.
No, they didn't
Michael, it
care.
was 74.
No. Just put your gun through the metal
Woman
detector.
ran out, gave a guy a kiss on the field, one of
Yeah.
the umpires.
Pretty
Right.
And
loosey-goosey.
you could see it, but Billy Martin was helping. He'd throw some pebbles into the stands. Because the week before in Texas,
Sure.
they had a run-in. We're down there in Texas.
Right.
Lenny Randall bunts. Milt Wilcox fields the ball. Randall just plows him over in the 8th inning. Bench is empty. So
we
big
can
fight.
blame-
Pete Franklin. Next week they're coming to Cleveland. We have to get out there and get them. They're
Oh,
coming back.
boy.
And Pete, and you know Pete, he's with your dad.
Sure. Just
But-
happened to be 10-cent beer night, too,
Wow,
that
how
night.
strange.
Billy Martin makes a big statement. So what? No one goes to the games in Cleveland anyway. And Pete
So he's
jumped
asking for
all
it.
over that.
I just
all
like that
over.
the blame is shifting away from us onto someone else, and I'm all for this.
So now the 10-cent beer night happens. Could you tell Jim that at some point the game was never finished?
No.
By the way, Mike Hargrove was in the outfield for
I
the
talked to
Rangers.
Mike for the book.
Oh, you did talk
Yes.
to him. If I remember correctly, he had a kid in a headlock. I had
Yeah,
video.
great
I had
picture.
video
Yep.
of that years ago, and he asked me where I got it, and of course I couldn't tell him. Did you get the feeling that that game was not going to end in
Yes,
regulation?
because we sat there. I had a broken foot in right field. The old general admission, Section 7, it was great. We're down 5-1. But I kept thinking, the streaker ran across the field, jumps over the fence. They grab him and his dad. They grab him. And too many guys, I'll never forget. One guy jumps out of right field, runs at Charlie Spikes. George Hendrick in
That's all he
center.
wanted. And he gave it to
Lowenstein in
him.
left.
He
George
held it out.
Spikes,
He had to.
Lowenstein. He runs across the other side. Crowd's going crazy.
Yeah.
But the 9th comes, and they tie the game.
Oh my gosh.
Sack fly, scores Ed Crosby. The game's tied at 5. Thinking, we're going to win this thing.
Sure.
And here they come. One guy wanted Jeff Burrows' hat. He goes to snatch it, and Jeff thought he was swinging at him.
Oh yeah.
So he just, poof, and then here they came.
Fist fight, and it was the players fighting the fans,
Yep.
literally. Now we had to forfeit that game,
Yep.
as we all know, and it goes down in Cleveland legend. I forgot that was part of the '74 season. Another key to that season was when the Indians acquired Frank Robinson, who was a legitimate star player.
They got him on waivers. He had passed through twice. Nobody claimed him.
Wow.
He goes, the next time I come up, whoever claims me, I'm going. So the Indians claimed him, thinking, it's September? They were only 4.5 games out of first on Labor Day. The same as the 48 Indians. My first pennant race ever in my life.
Yeah.
So they get Frank, thinking, well, there's maybe a veteran presence, get him over the hump. And as Joe Tate would say, at that point, it crashed and burned when Frank came.
Why is that?
Never got on track. He got in problem with Gaylord. Gaylord sees they're bringing in Frank. They're talking about Frank's contract for next year. Gaylord's thinking, they tell me they don't have any money. I know they're making money. We're drawing fans.
Sure.
So Gaylord says, in the papers, press, PD, everybody, I want $1 more next year than Frank Robinson.
Oh boy.
That's a
Frank-
How did that go over in the clubhouse?
Frank, in the clubhouse, Frank goes, get all the money you want. If you ever mention my name again, we're going to have a problem.
Oh,
Wow.
my.
And they almost came to blows in the clubhouse.
They almost came to blows.
Yep.
Funny, though, the Indians thought they were doing the right thing right there, but you say that derailed that season. It threw the chemistry off, right?
Kind of did, yep. There was problems with George Hendrick anyway.
But then you had Frank Robinson next season become the manager, right? Was that the next season?
Oh, yeah,
named-
75 opening day.
First black
3
manager
days
in the
after
major?
the season ended, they named Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they would say all along, it was never our intention to bring him in as a manager.
Right.
And Frank still says, I came here strictly as a player. I never thought about being a manager. I don't know if I totally believe that.
Wow.
because as soon as the season was, well, they fired Aspermani with a week to go.
Ken. He
did a good job.
And Frank was player manager.
Player manager.
I remember that opening day when he hit a home run. I thought he was Babe Ruth.
Yep.
I mean, as I was a 13-year-old kid, I'm like, wow, this guy's fantastic. He's our manager and he's hitting home runs.
And our last player manager who won a World Series?
Yeah, Lou Boudreau,
Boudreau.
1948. All right, don't go anywhere. We've got more with Jim when we come back. It saved your Cleveland Indians, the 1974 season. Back with more on The Rizzo Show after this. Oh, we found out from Jim, there's a whole X-rated version of this season.
Yeah.
But some of it's in the book, though. Welcome back, everybody. We're joined by Jim Clark, author of Rally Around Cleveland, the story of the 74 franchise-saving Cleveland Indians.
Good book.
Wherever books can be found, right? You can buy
eBay
this
right
book.
now. It's eBay, and Amazon in about a week.
Amazon about a week.
Yep.
Labor of love for you, Jim?
I loved it. Took about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Constant research, going through papers.
Sure.
I talked to Mike Hargrove and Joe Tate. Forward Bob DiBiasio.
Sure.
Back cover Terry Pluto. Great guys to help. It was a lot of work, but for me, it brought back so many memories.
But you're not doing the Danny Coughlin thing where you drive around in your car and just sell them out at the roadside flea markets.
If you caught him in the car, you got
You
one
got
in
a
the
couple
trunk,
in the car.
Jimmy, right?
There you go. If you
Jim,
see this guy in his
I-
car, you can buy a book off him.
I want to, the funny part is the ownership of the Indians in those days was very sketchy at best. People are after the Dolans sometimes. Fair or foul? What do you think? Well, how are the Dolans as owners for the team?
I thought I was on the other side at first for a while too. Then the last 3 or 4 years, they've spent a lot of money on this club.
Yeah.
And we came that close, of course, in 16. But the last 3 years, I've said it 1,000 times. If we don't quit finishing 20th in attendance, 3 consecutive years, I go, don't get mad when we can't sign this guy, and we're getting rid of this guy.
Right.
And it's happened now.
Right.
You're 20th with a World Series contender for 4 consecutive years. And then they wonder why they're letting guys like Gomes go.
Right.
And they're shopping Kluber and,
Yeah.
Encarnacion. Well, that's the reason. You can't win. Everyone always said, if they win, they'll come. That's not the case right now. To me, it's not enough.
All right, so you've been with the Rubber Ducks for 27 years now, which is crazy. You've seen a lot of good players come up through the minors, and you got to witness it firsthand and watch that. Who really stands out for you of the Indians that made their way up to the bigs?
I loved Santana when he was with us. What a great guy. But my favorite of all time is Victor Martinez.
Oh, yeah.
Victor still remembers me.
Oh,
And,
how great
hey,
is
if
that?
the guy remembers you,
Sure.
He's the nicest guy in the world, right?
he's a great guy.
Sure.
And, Lindor coming through was so mature for his age when he was 20.
Right.
Always seemed to, always had it together.
Jim, do you think he's the next superstar in the American League?
Yep.
He has all the tools. How about Jose? No one really knew little Jose Ramirez when he was down in Akron, right?
A little fire plug.
Right.
Play him at short, play him at second. He maybe hit 260.
Right.
All of a sudden, he's got superstar on him.
Right. Jim, do you know when these guys are going to be stars?
Yeah,
or
that's
no?
what I was going to ask because of all the experience.
Well, guys like Lindor, you do. They're still waiting for Bradley Zimmer. Looks like he has all the tools.
Sure.
Can't stay healthy.
Right.
Quit diving in the walls and get off the ground. That might help him a little. He'll have that Grady Sizemore syndrome if he doesn't stop banging in the wall.
Who's in Akron right now that's on that team that you think is going to be the next Indian?
I don't know yet. It's changed so much from last year. I like Bobby Bradley. Cuts down on strikeouts. Pretty good glove at first. And we had Jesus Aguilar, who never got a chance in Cleveland, goes to Milwaukee playing first base. He hits 40 homers.
Right.
That could be Bradley when the time comes.
All right, I'm holding you to that. I'm
Chang
holding you
is
to
one of
that.
the
I got to
infielders.
see him on the field for a whole season, though,
Yes,
first.
without a doubt.
Jim, great stuff, as always. Speaking of victories, boy, we won big at the Roxino Kozars, and wait until you see what my partner's got cooking. Look at that.
That's nice.
I made that for you.
I appreciate that.
And stay tuned. More Rizzo Show when we come back. Folks, welcome back to the Rizzo Show. You know where we are now? We're in maybe one of my favorite places in Cleveland, Ohio. We're in the kitchen at Kozar's Wood Fire Grill. You know Chef Chris from Rizzo Show. He's been out with us many times. Chef, what are we going to do today? I see a giant hunk of meat, and I like it.
We're going to show you how we do our smoked prime rib here.
Oh.
Phenomenal.
All right, Chris, I know you like to keep it simple with some of your stuff that you do, right?
Sure.
So let's see, what are we going to start
Okay.
with?
So I'm going to tell you a little trick here. A lot of times, all spices are oil-based, right? So if you heat up a little bit of oil and add your dry spices to that,
Right.
it really enhances the flavor of it,
like
big time.
that. I did
number
not
one,
know that.
Number one, you'll use about half as much, but it will just make it really, really
So just
stronger,
what do you
more
got in there?
flavorful.
Quarter cup oil?
If that,
I
yeah.
mean, what are we putting in seasoning?
And so we've got some Montreal seasoning or steak seasoning. We have a little bit of lemon pepper as well. And so what we do is we make it just like wet sand, right? You don't want the oil hot, but the warmth will bring it out. You can actually smell the fragrance on there, right?
Oh, it feels like
get it-
sand.
Yeah, exactly
By
right.
the way, Mike Polk, time for your exam. Oh, sorry. Here we go. So I'm just gonna rub it on, pat it on, or rub it on. Do you pat or rub?
I would rub, so you get it in the crevices
rub.
and
You
all
wanna
that.
get
Yep.
it in everything.
Yep.
How long?
Yeah, so
How
what we
hot?
do is we put it in our smoking box. So we add a little bit of smoke from our wood-fired grill.
Right.
Take a couple smoldering logs, put it in there, and the key to prime rib, slow and low. So we
Slow
do it
and
at
low.
like 225, 250 degrees
Right.
for 2.5 to 3 hours.
Okay. Show them what we
As
got
we
in
go,
there.
look at that.
Oh, smell
So that gives some great flavor to that prime rib.
Oh, that is fantastic. Are we done, Chef? Do the
Yeah,
magic
let me
of
pull it
TV.
out. Look at that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
After 2.5
Pull it out.
hours,
Oh,
that's
look
what
at the
she looks
crust.
like.
Look at the crust.
And then what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna let you cut it,
Oh boy.
and I'm gonna let you decide
How
where
big of a
you
piece?
think-
Should we go Freddie Flintstone right now, huh? Huh? Boy, that cuts like butter. Look at that.
Beautiful, right?
Oh, look at that. Gorgeous.
You think you can handle a pound cut?
Yeah, I'll try it.
All right.
Where is a pound?
Let me
Chris?
show you.
Yep.
Take your knife right there,
Oh,
right there.
that's the
That's a
pound.
pound.
Pound. All right, wait.
Go
I
for
want the end.
Oh, you want
You
the
know
end?
me. Oh, I love the
Beautiful.
end. In fact, you promised I could sear it a little bit.
I did.
right?
I did.
Oh, I
Ready for
love the
this?
end cut right there.
You can handle that?
Oh, look at that. I like all the juices and the crust and everything on there. Oh, that's fantastic.
Nothing better than a medium rare end cut.
All right, can we sear it?
Absolutely. Let's go. Just throw it right on there. Beautiful.
Oh.
That'll add a little more smoke from the heat. Get that nice char taste on it.
Can't let it go too long, though.
Now, give it about 30 seconds, and then what you want to do, so you put the nice diamonds on it, is pick it up and just turn it about 45 degrees.
Oh, I would kill to have one of these in my house. This is unbelievable. Folks, the flavor in this grill is over the years that Kozar's has been here. It's absolutely fantastic. Chris, I know you probably would want me to sit down. Folks, I'm not even sitting down. We're gonna do this right here because I've been cooking this thing for hours and I'm dying to taste it. By the way, when I come to Kozar's, don't get anything on Bernie's face. That's the key here, right? What do we got? A little horseradish? Give me
Little
a
creamy
zoom.
horseradish.
Little horseradish. Oh. Oh. Melts in your mouth. The crust from the rub with that oil,
Absolutely, yeah.
Chris, is phenomenal. But the cut of meat itself.
Yeah, I mean, look, we buy high quality stuff, and in here at Kozar's, we don't really get too crazy with it. We don't want to try and mask the true flavor of the beef. We just enhance it. So,
Folks, get here. All right? We're at Kozar's, wood fire grill. Try the prime rib. Chris, so much more than prime rib, though. The steaks,
oh,
everything's
absolutely.
unbelievable.
Great seafood, lobster tails, Chilean sea bass, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and then
something for everyone.
And then you go play the machines and you can pay for your dinner. How's that? We'll be back with more Rizzo Show after this, and you know where I'm going. Right back at it. Oh, I love the burnt part. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Clark, we really enjoyed having you with us. Where can we find your book again, sir?
eBay, put in Rally Around Cleveland, Amazon as well.
Amazon, eBay, Rally Round Cleveland, 1974, the wacky year that saved the Indians. We got like a couple of seconds here left. Tito Francona, maybe the best manager we've ever had. I know Lou Brujo won a title.
He gets his most out of his players. He's a player's guy. Love Francona. Always have.
Yeah.
It was a great read. It was a great book, great
Thank
story, and it was something I didn't know, and it's educational. If you're a true Indians fan, you should probably check this out because it's an important piece of our history, and we might not be here if it weren't for that.
Yeah, and there were a number of cases where the Indians, quote unquote, almost moved.
Yes.
But as you point out, Jim, in this book, This is as close as we ever really got. They were going to play games in New Orleans.
Yeah.
If it keeps
30,
going,
what was it, 30 games?
35 games.
35 games in New Orleans. I couldn't imagine.
I would like if they played the first 10 there, so at least it'd be warm still. That'd be nice, right?
Oh, you mean in that dome?
Yeah, let's do it.
I would definitely do it. Jimmy, thanks for being here. Listen,
you,
have a
guys.
good year
You too.
with the Akron Rubber Ducks, and please send us lots of young superstars.
We need 'em.
do.
Right? We need somebody to step up in the outfield.
Find us an outfielder.
This year, right?
do it.
Somebody stay healthy, please. For Jim and Mike, I'm Tony. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Remember, it's called Rally Round Cleveland. Get it today. Amazon, eBay, and more. Thank you. Good to be alive.
Good to be alive, everybody.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
folks.
Thanks, Jim.